since I was there, I was back there in the years of 1999 to 2001, so I'm sure some things have changed since I was there, but I am excited to share with you some of the things that I know about Argentina. So this is South America. You guys have probably seen a map of South America before. Yeah. So this country that's outlined in purple right here, this is Argentina. And I was in the Buenos Aires, which is right here, and that's the capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires. And it actually means good air. I don't know how many of you do. Any of you speak a little bit of Spanish in here?
Raise your hand if you speak Spanish.
If you speak a little bit even. Okay, so Buenos Aires means good air. So just a little bit of history about Argentina. So the Spanish, people from Spain, they arrived in Argentina in the year 1516. And so the Spanish had rule of Argentina for about 300 years. And then in the year 1816, Argentina declared its independence from Spain. So I know you guys have on your little passport book, I'm going to tell you about one of the holidays that they celebrate there in Argentina. And this holiday is called 9 de Julio, which is the 9th of July. And that is an important day for them, just like the 4th of July is an important day for us. That's the day that we declared our independence from Britain. 9 de Julio, the 9th of July, is the day that they declared their independence from Spain. So they celebrate really a lot the same way that we do. They have parades in the streets, they get together with their family and their friends, and they have barbecues. They call them asados down there, A-S-A-D-O, and that's a big holiday that they celebrate down there. That's really important to them. And there's even a street in Buenos Aires, in the capital, that is called 9 de Julio, because it's such an important day for them. And it is like the widest street, I think, in the world. It has 8 lanes going each way. So this is like a massive, huge street right there in the middle of their capital. So their flag, Mr. Cuestas put the flag up here. So this is their flag, and here's what it represents. It has 3 different colors, for the white and the blue and the golden sun. So the blue and the white, they represent the clear skies and the cloudy sometimes. They said over the Andes Mountains, which the Andes Mountains border Chile right here along in Argentina. And the sun, this is called the May sun. And if you look around it, these little like rays coming out of the sun, there's 32 around there, and 16 of them are straight, and 16 of them are wavy. The straight ones represent light, that kind of points in a straight direction, where the wavy ones, they represent the heat. So they alternate, go straight, wavy. So when you're drawing your flag there, if you want to do that, that's what their flag represents. So that was important, and this was an interesting fact about the sun, why they have it in there. It says, because it commemorates the appearance of sun in the cloudy skies on May 25th, 1810, when the first mass demonstration in favor of independence took place. So they were kind of having like this big gathering for their independence. And kind of at the end of it, the skies parted and the sun came out. So it was kind of like a symbol to them of like a good sign that things were going to be good. And anyway, that's kind of just a little history of that. So unlike many South American countries, the majority of people in Argentina, they come from European descent. So there's a lot of Italian, Spanish, and German influence there in Buenos Aires. So a lot of the people have lighter skin, darker hair, because of that European influence in their country. Half of all of the population, about half the population of Argentina lives in Buenos Aires or its surrounding areas. So it's a very populated place. It's a very modern city that you have there in Buenos Aires. As you get kind of further out into the country, even some places in Buenos Aires where people are really poor, it is not very third world. Some places where I was at, people do live in just kind of cement houses, or even just kind of like tin houses they have with little corrugated roofing. In the really, really poor areas, people even build houses out of cardboard. But in the central Buenos Aires, it's very modern. People have houses kind of like we do. They live in apartment buildings a lot. And that's just a little bit about that. Argentina itself is divided up into kind of 4 main areas. One's called the Pampas. And it's kind of like a flat, grasslandy area. Down here south, it's called Patagonia. And it's really cold down here. I mean, you have, like, penguins live down here at the tip. You know, penguins are from Antarctica down here. But it's really cold down in this area. And then you have the Andes Mountains is the other one. And then it's just called the North region, kind of up here. Let's see, they have a democracy like we do, their government, so they elect a president every 4 years. Their most famous president, probably that most people have heard of, his name was Juan Perón, and his wife's name was Eva, and they actually did a movie about her. It was called Evita, and it was done back in the 1990s. And she really advocated for the poorer people in Argentina. She herself was born in very poor circumstances and kind of worked her way up and became the president's wife. And so she really advocated for the poorer people in Argentina. The country itself has gone through some very tough times economically and politically. But right now it is very stable, well, I can't say very stable, but it is one of the, let me see right here. It is one of the wealthiest Latin American countries, actually, that there is today. And its main industry is agriculture. So the money that they use, that's another question we have there. When I went down 20 years ago, it was pretty much the peso is what they used. And 1 peso would equal like $1 US. That was 20 years ago, but now it is $1 US to 349.53 pesos.
What's the number again?
349.35. So yeah, pesos. So like when I was down there, they don't do $1 bills like we do. All of their dollars were in coins. Their 1 pesos were coins, and they start with the $2 bills. So they use a lot of coins, and like change is kind of interesting. Like if you had something that cost, you know, like $1.53, and you gave them $2, they don't give you pennies like we do. They would just round it up to the nearest 5 cents. So they don't give you pennies. They're just not worth it to them. Pennies there. So the language they speak is Spanish, and sometimes it's called Castellano. It's a little bit different than Spanish. For those of you who speak Spanish, you probably learned that the Y and the double L makes a y sound. Like if you want to say yo, Y-O, yo. Instead, in there, where you would say sho, the Y or the double L makes a sh sound. So I know on your little here, on your passport, so here's some words that you guys need to know, right? So if you're down in Argentina and you want to say, how are you? You say, ¿Cómo estás? Mr. Cook brought that up there for you. And they use like a different thing. They use what's called vos. In Spanish, when you learn it, when you're talking to someone and you want to say you say tu, T-U. Argentina, they use something that's called vos. So instead of saying tu for you, they say vos. I'm doing well. Estoy bien. Vos just means you. Like with you talked out like with your friends. If you're talking to an adult or someone in authority, you wouldn't use the vos.
Hola vos.
So estoy bien, yeah.
What do I think?
My name would be me llamo, but they would say me llamo. So me llamo.
But it's pronounced sha.
Thank you. Gracias. Please, por favor. It actually means for favor. So, por favor, please. You're welcome non de nada, which also means of nothing. So it's like nothing of it. Non de nada. And then goodbye. So they usually say ciao. Ciao. C-H-A-U.
Like that?
That's really Italian. C-H-A-U.
I've seen them.
Yeah, C-H-A-U. Yeah. So this is
Ciao. No, like in Spanish.
Ciao.
Ciao.
And then restroom, if you need a restroom, you say baño. B-A-N-O. And then the N has that little squiggly tilde over it. Baño. Okay. So I think those are the words you need. Just for your information, some fun different little words. It would be like if they want to say like you're talking to your friend, you want to call him dude, say che. Hey che, come on, che. I mean like, what's up, che? What's up, dude? They say ojo a lot. Ojo means like I'm watching you, or look out sometimes.
Ojo.
Ojo. Another thing they say a lot is ni ahí. It kind of means like not even. You're talking to someone, not even. Ni ahí. And then if you see a boy or a girl and you think that they are good looking, you call them a bonbon.
Bonbon.
Bonbon. And there's actually a candy called a bonbon. I tried to get them for you, but they were all sold out. So these are bonbons. Then they have some hand signals. Some hand signals that they use when they're talking to their kids. They want to come, ven or veni. They go like that. And if they see one of their kids misbehaving and they want them to know they're looking at them, they go. They like point to their eye. I'm watching you. And another thing they do a lot, I never got it down, but they flick their finger like this and it makes a snapping noise. And they can get it like really loud doing. Sometimes they just do it for all sorts of things.
Like hurry up.
On it. So that's just some fun little things. Also some places to visit. So if you're in Argentina, and you want to go to some places, there is this, I haven't been there, but I would love to. It's on the border up here. This is Brazil. And it's right here, Argentina, come up here. It's called Iguazu Falls. And there are these waterfalls, and they come in from like all these sides of these cliffs, and they're huge, and they all come down into one river that flows down. So that would be kind of a cool place if you're there. I would really suggest going to Buenos Aires, the capital, because there is a lot to do there. If you are into dinosaurs at all, or prehistoric thing, there is a museum called the Natural Science Museum of Buenos Aires, and it has tons of dinosaur fossils there. There have been lots and lots of dinosaurs discovered in Argentina, so that's kind of cool. In the capital, La Capital, yeah, do you have a question? Oh, sure, go for it. So, in our capital, like, do you guys know where the capital of the United States is? Washington, D.C. Where does the president live? What's the place called where he lives? The White House. So in Argentina, the president lives in a place that's called La Casa Rosada. So it's the pink house. Instead of the White House, he gets to live in a pink house.
Is it actually good?
It is. Like,
I want to be the president.
and so that's a really cool place you can go see. Also there in the capital, there's a place called La Boca. It actually means the mouth. I don't know why. And they have a really famous soccer team called La Boca, so their stadium is there. There are lots of buildings that are painted bright colors where they sell things. The white street Nueve de Julio is there. So there's lots of really fun things in Buenos Aires to go and see. So those are some places that if you go to Argentina would be fun places to go visit. Yeah.
What did you say the called?
The pesos. P-E-S-O is a peso. Oh, sorry. Buenos Aires.
What's the food?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. The food there is so good. They eat a lot of beef. They eat a lot of potatoes. They eat a lot of noodles. They eat a lot of bread. And their breads and their pastries, they're great. their most famous thing that they're famous for is called the asado. And that is their type of barbecue. And it's not like barbecue like we have, like hamburgers and hot dogs.
How do you spell it?
Asado is right there. A-S-A-D-O. So what they do is they just, I don't know if you guys can really see this, but they just have like this grill. And they put this grill just on the ground and they build a fire underneath it. And there are just like really big pieces of meat that they cook on there. And they have what's called chorizo that they cook on there. It's like a big sausage type thing. And it's just great. Like Argentina is famous for their asado.
Kind of like this?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Look at.
Wait, does it?
Well, pull down the screen here.
Yeah. So this shirt that I'm wearing, this is I wore this because this is an Argentine soccer jersey.
Is it from
No, this one. I don't even know if he was born when I was young. Oh, okay. He would have been young. So yeah. Yeah. But they also have these things that are called empanadas, and empanadas are really good.
Oh, what?
They're kind of like little meat turnovers. They have the meat ones and they have ham and cheese. Those ones are my favorite ones. They have pizza there that they eat a lot. Their pizza's a little bit different. They have like the tomato sauce, but they have this creamy cheese. It's kind of like mozzarella, but it's different. They slice it and they put it on and then it melts in the oven. Then they take it and kind of spread it around. And then they have green olives that still have the seeds in them, and they put those on the pizza. And that's like their most common type of pizza that they have. They have I think it's kind of like caramel. It's called dulce de leche. And you can make it actually by taking sweet condensed milk and leaving it in the can and putting it and boiling it in the can already. And I have some, I brought these are called alfajores. They don't have like candy bars like Snickers, Kit Kats, things like that we have. But they have these that they eat a lot. And they have the dulce de leche in the middle. It's kind of like a little cake type thing with dulce de leche. Then these are some little cookies that are very common that they eat. Now this right here is very famous too. This is called their yerba mate. What it is, there's this plant called yerba, and they take it and they dry it, and then they process it, so it's like in little pieces. And then they take that herb and they put it in these cups. So these are all different kinds of mate cups that they have. This was the traditional one that they hollowed out with gourd. And then they put it in there. Then they put boiling water and sugar in there and stir it up, and then they sip it. You use these straws so that you don't get the herb in when you drink it, that you just get the water.
Kind of like a filter.
Yeah, it filters it out. So they drink this all the time, but when you drink it, your tongue is not supposed to touch the straw. You just put your lips on it because you pass it around to people that are there. Everybody doesn't have their own mate cup. You just sit down there with your friends and you drink it, and you have one person that serves it. So they pour the water in and put some sugar on, and they'll drink, and then they pass it to the next person, and then they'll drink it, and then they pass it back to the server. The server puts on more sugar and more water, and then they keep going like that all around. So for breakfast, they would just drink mate and eat some like little cookies or crackers. Their main meal is at lunchtime. So like around noon, 1, so they eat a really big meal, and then they'll eat another meal like around 9 o'clock or so at night. Let's see. So some other just interesting facts are their main sport is soccer for people. So their school, when they go to school, it's much like you guys when you go to school. They have their elementary school, kind of a middle school, and high school. But the kids mostly wear uniforms, or they have what's called a guarda-polvo. So it looks kind of like it's just like a white, kind of like a doctor's robe, like what doctors wear. And that's just to keep their clothes clean. Guarda-polvo actually means like to keep off the dust. Here's
Is it like
the-
a coat, like this thing?
Yeah, exactly, just like that, yep. So that's what the kids will wear. On their last day of school, the kids take their notebooks and they tear them up and they throw all their papers into the streets. So it is a messy day, like the last day of school. Here's some interesting things that they do, just like things that we might find odd that they do as normal. They don't have trash cans like we do, like you said, outside when the trash man comes. They do have a trash man, but they have like telephone poles, and sometimes they have like baskets on their telephone poles, and they put their trash bags on the baskets, or sometimes they just have big nails that stick out of the telephone poles, and they go and they hang their bags on there, and then the trash man comes and collect those. If they want to sell a car, sometimes instead of putting like a for sale sign on it, they just put like a water bottle or a soda bottle on it. So if you're walking by and you see a car with like a bottle on it, it means it's for sale. And maybe you just kind of have to try to find the owner somehow.
That's odd.
Yeah. Public transportation's a big one. Not a lot of people have their own cars, so you take buses, you take trains, or you take taxis, or you walk or bike. Pretty much. There are a lot of stray dogs, lots of dogs running around in the streets. There is a large gypsy population. You've heard of gypsies before? People who kind of wander from place to place. They don't have a real. Yeah, they do like magic tricks and stuff sometimes. Yeah, and a lot of times, kind of interesting. So they're really colorful people. Their clothes are really colorful, and sometimes they'll get down in like the big if they're in the big cities where a lot of people are. They'll come and they'll dance and like cause a distraction, like in the middle of everybody, like with their scarves and different magic tricks. And it's a way that they distract the people and they pick their pockets. So if you're ever there and you see gypsies coming around you, make sure you don't have like your wallet in your pocket, because while people are distracted watching what's going on, they take them. It's a little interesting fact. So in their homes, like in bathrooms, a little thing different. They have bidets. I don't know if you guys have heard of bidets. Bidets? Yeah, okay. No, I haven't. Fortunately. No. So when you go to the bathroom, you have a toilet, of course. And then there's another thing right next to it that looks kind of like a toilet. And in the middle, there's like a little drain thing, it looks like, but water shoots out of it. So instead of using toilet paper to wipe off, you sit on the bidet and it like washes you off in the paper towel there that you dry off with.
Kind of looks like a
So-
bathroom like that.
So yeah, like that. So that's,
Did you ever meet Missy?
what's that?
Did you ever meet Missy? The soccer player?
No, I never met any famous soccer players, no. So, Argentina is definitely, oh, I just want to talk about one thing, a gaucho. A gaucho was like an old cowboy. And they lived in the Pampas. So these are kind of like gaucho pants. They're kind of like wider in the legs, a little bit tighter at the bottom. And then this is like a poncho that they would wear. Kind of put on like this. And then they would have like this scarf that they would tie around them. And then there's like a sash that they would wear too, and tie them around. And then they wear like a hat. Like if you look on this makeup, there's like an old gaucho like that. And so a gaucho, the old cowboy, is like a real big symbol of Argentina. Okay, I think that that's all I am going to talk to you guys about right now. Yeah, there's a gaucho right there. See that? Look at that. Oh, are you supposed to know how to say food? Comida. I thought that you were supposed to write down. C-O-M-I-D-A. Comida. Oh, did I go to the restroom? Baño? Yeah, we